Hello, and welcome to this audio-video overview of an opportunity to work with REATA Commercial Realty in Plano, Texas as a corporate real estate advisor. My name is Mark Galvan, and it's my privilege to be able to share with you a lot of information that's not publicly accessible or visible. It's specifically for you as a candidate, and we were very, very excited about finally getting to the point where we're launching this recruiting effort because we have multiple opportunities and we're excited about the growth within the organization based on the market. So first of all, let me go over a few things. What is this? This is an audio version of all the information that we have and we know about this opportunity so that you can make a good decision. We want to be very transparent and visible with all the details to you up front so that you have the chance to consider whether or not this is a good fit for you. Now, a commercial real estate advisor is sometimes called a tenant representative because REATA Commercial Realty exclusively represents tenants in their lease negotiations for leasing commercial properties. So right now, we're looking for folks in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. While this is a virtual opportunity, it's also a local focus. And there is an opportunity to meet with folks on a regional basis here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that's where our focus is at the moment. We have multiple immediate opportunities, and we have two different tracks, one for folks with prior experience and one for folks that are relatively new to the industry. So I'll get into that in a few minutes. Now, first of all, why are we doing this? Well, number one, this is better for you. You get a lot of information up front. You can listen to this at your leisure, and it's something that you can take advantage of on multiple times if you want to listen to it multiple times. Normally what would happen is we would have like a recruiter look at your background and experience and reach out to you, and you'd be like in a screening interview immediately. And that puts candidates on the spot. It's challenging because if you don't show up well or have the right answers, you can be screened out of the process. In this case, you have the ability to listen to the information, look at some downloadable information, and then also respond as a matter of next steps in a very thoughtful way so that you put your best foot forward and we look for the best possible win-win opportunity. So we know this is not a typical recruiting process, but hopefully you see the advantage that you have to be able to move through this process this way. And we'll give you specific instructions on next steps. Now, this is only for candidates that have already been screened or evaluated for the full-time corporate real estate advisor opportunity. Again, there's multiple opportunities at the moment. So congratulations, actually, because you don't maybe realize it, but you're already in the process. You've responded to a posting probably or an email that we've sent to you, some type of an ad, and that information that you've responded with has been evaluated, you've been pre-screened and reviewed, and now we've moved on to next steps. So because we've already had a chance to look at your resume and background, we're interested in you enough to give you this information. So the next step is we're going to give you access to a questionnaire, and that's our chance to get information from you. So again, if this was a typical recruiting process, a recruiter would call you and give a bunch of information over the phone and ask you a bunch of questions. And this is just a way for us to speed up the process and make it very consistent, and at the same time give you an abundance of information so that you can make a decision that's right for you. Now, most of the team members that we have today on the team in this type of a role have a certain profile. Number one, they were either looking for a better opportunity, and that means they had maybe a limited financial opportunity in their prior role, or they just had terrible work-life balance. They just didn't have the kind of flexibility to be able to do the things they wanted to or needed to personally. So I would say, based on what we know about the role and the opportunity and the company and the business model, if you're looking for a career with flexibility, if you're looking for a way to make income and recurring income without a cap, or if you're looking for either financial freedom or time freedom, or you're looking for an opportunity to leverage your prior experience. Maybe you've been in this industry for a while. Maybe you've been working for a company and it is not the right model. And in this scenario, the financial rewards and other rewards can be much more significant. Or maybe you're looking for something that's really stable, either because of COVID or because of downsizing or market shifts. You've been impacted and your career's kind of been thrown into a loop, and you're looking for something that's a lot more stable that you're in control of. Okay, so if any one of these things sound like you, then you're probably the right person that we want to be talking to. So if you're looking for a way of leveraging your background and experience because you already have relationships and you have prior experience in commercial real estate, then this is a place for you to be on a fast track as a prior professional with experience. Or if you have an appreciation for what's happening and you want to get into this industry and you have limited experience, we have a new to the business track just for you as well. So the one thing I want to, this is kind of a random comment. One of the things I've noticed in looking at the overall industry is that we have this sudden blue ocean phenomena. What that means is a red ocean is where there's a lot of competition. Like imagine shark-infested waters and it's just a bloody mess because there's a feeding frenzy and they're all trying to eat the same thing, okay? That's a mess, and business is like that. When you have a market where there's a lot of competitors and very few opportunities, they're all fighting for the same thing. But in a blue ocean space, it means that there's all of a sudden around you no competition. And what we've had happen with COVID is the number of businesses that are reevaluating their operating model and their physical footprint and their lease contracts is extraordinary. The volume of opportunities is higher than it's ever been before as organizations look to re-engineer their delivery and their operating model to serve their customers. So now more than ever before, I mean, this is like a strange phenomena that has positively impacted this industry, that there's more opportunities now to consult with small, mid-sized companies that are having to make these decisions. So very, very excited about what's happening in the marketplace. So again, my name is Mark Galvan. I'm a recruiting manager. My real objective here is to create a win-win-win-win situation. What that means is the company wins because we find a great person. You win because you find a great opportunity. And our clients win because they love working with you. And so they're happy. And whoever is your stakeholder at home, your champion that you need to support, they win too because they're happy you got this opportunity because it's giving you financial and time flexibility like you didn't have before. So that's what we mean by a win-win, win-win. Now, we have a very strong commitment to find the right team members. So we use this process to make sure that you have the right information. And if it's not right for you, then you can drop out. But if you're done with this and you're as excited as we are, then we want to move to the next stage where we're getting information and setting up a time to speak with you. And there's no artificial intelligence here. This is all real people. I'm recording this from Frisco, Texas, and we are all local folks in a local market with a local commitment to serve. So again, this is hopefully more efficient for you. And over the remainder of this audio, I'm going to give you some background on the company and the work. So first of all, REATA Commercial Realty, the real standout about the organization is that the founder, Bob Gibbons, has a background in commercial real estate representing landlords. So he has the inside knowledge that is strategically valuable to be able to help organizations and decision makers when they are facing huge decisions around lease agreements. So you probably already know that a business's biggest financial expense is usually labor, the cost of people. But the second biggest one is oftentimes rent or leasing. So this is a massive decision for organizations, and it's all relative. Even a small business that has a physical footprint has to make a decision that sometimes is a 3, 5, 7, 10-year lease. So because of Bob's background, he's created an operating model, a methodology, and a proprietary approach to be able to service and support organizations that are looking at agreements and need tenant representation. The core values tell it all. I'll let you download the document that we have linked below, and you can see clients first. That means being fiduciarily honest and ethical and fair. Comprehensive, that means whatever the client needs, we take care of. Exclusive, that means we're dedicated solely to our clients who need office and warehouse space. We don't service the other side. We don't represent landlords. And then knowledge and education. We're constantly learning, developing, growing, sharing, and applying that. Another thing that's unique about the company, and specifically your opportunity here, is what we call your internal success support team. You literally have an executive sponsor who's like a mentor and a coach. You have an operational lead who's making sure that things are tactically being executed properly. You've got a professional peer group of colleagues with similar experience and knowledge for culture and community. And then you also have got this administrative support layer to be able to assist you with the admin background work that's necessary. So in the role as a tenant representative, you actually have all of this infrastructure available, which we know is very unique. So for corporate real estate advisors, all of these resources are available. Now, one of the things that you should know is how we perceive the market, our services, and the problems we solve. Basically, we do anything that the tenant needs in order to be able to represent them and help them make a good decision. So that would include market and site analysis, looking for property and conditions of the agreements and the financial impacts, site selection, contract negotiation, again, looking at terms, transaction management, and we also have something called Lease Track. It's a proprietary SaaS internet-based application that tracks the activity of the lease all the way through the term. It helps us keep our relationship with the customer, or your relationship with your customer, and also it helps them have visibility to milestones, activities, and actions related to the lease management. Also, lease and sales negotiations, and finally, construction and project management, particularly where you've got build-outs and other things associated with new move-ins. So another thing that I would think you would want to know when you're considering a company to represent is what makes them unique in the marketplace? How are they perceived by the market? Well, we've got a few very powerful competitive differentiators that assist in differentiating what we do versus other organizations. First, a lot of companies, they have some form of tenant representation available, but they also represent landlords. So how is that not a conflict of interest? We do not do that here at REATA Commercial Realty. Everything we do is focused exclusively on the tenant. So that's a big advantage and a competitive differentiator as well. Another one is our knowledge. We like to say knowledge is power, but because, again, of the background that Bob Gibbons brings, our broker, and the proprietary methodology and the process we use, there is incredible insight built into the process because of the background and expertise of working with landlords in the past. Another is our value proposition is really simple. We create enough value that we give strategic and financial advantage to the client before they make a financial commitment. So this is such a big deal because of the size of the commitments that are being made. As you probably are already aware, the biggest expense, but the second biggest expense is usually lease agreements. So even a small to mid-sized company, they may be facing a 3, 5, 7, 10-year lease agreement, and that's just a huge financial commitment because it's a fixed expense. So that's why this is so important for the tenant to have the representation that we're offering. So the mission of the corporate real estate advisor, you kind of probably get the point by now. We work to form relationships with the customers. We win them over with a very genuine and authentic approach, a commitment to support and providing industry guidance. We lead our customers through the entire process, and that includes everything I've just mentioned. And we allow our corporate advisors to have some creative license so they can develop their own personal brand and they can develop their own long-term commitment with their clients. So, as the broker, we're giving you a place to hang your logo and develop a brand, develop a reputation. You need to be able to do that effectively. Okay, let's talk briefly about the work. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here because you can download the opportunity overview and look at it in detail. This is a 1099 independent contractor arrangement. It's set up that way. It's industry standard. We've got all the agreements and infrastructure in place to be able to give you a way to succeed in that type of a model and have unlimited income. The type of work that you would be responsible for in this type of role is basically business development, client relationship management, and contract management, and the reporting that goes with that. So within business development, as you would expect, you're calling leads, you're qualifying opportunities, you're scheduling first meetings, creating presentations, doing market research, anything that's needed to be able to develop and cultivate business opportunities. In the area of client relationship management, you're providing the client with all the information they need. You're shepherding them entirely. So you may be attending meetings, you may be on Zoom calls, and you're also ensuring that we're in compliance with whatever is necessary for that process. And then from a contract management perspective, you get a chance to work with our team to dig into the terms and conditions, the financial arrangements, and analyze ways in which we can have and build leverage for the client. So again, I would just challenge you to look into that a little bit more detail because I want to move on to something I think is probably the most important thing to you, and that is what's in it for you. So again, the downloadable document is going to go into more detail, but I want to highlight the fact that the rewards model that REATA has is very aggressive. It includes a strong performance-based compensation plan and also a revenue sharing model. So you'll get to see more about that. And the commission splits and the other revenue generating activities we know better than market. It's by design. Okay, so part of it is where we're lacking a lot of overhead expense. And so because we have what's called an asset light operating model, and that's very common in today's marketplace to have an entirely virtualized operating model. We have the ability to pass on more of the revenue and rewards to our team members. And then we also have a repeat compensation from renewal business. In a lot of the industry, a lease agreement is a one-time, one-and-done type of activity. Not at REATA. We have long-term clients, and our lease track system helps cultivate those long-term relationships. We also have a tiered compensation plan. So your financial rewards actually scale with your production and volume. So that's exciting. And then we can go into it more later, but there's even an override commission structure where you've got an opportunity to refer other agent representatives to the organization and benefit financially from that. So very, very exciting. And we know that a lot of this stuff is very unique in the market. Clearly, what we've done is pulled best practices from other industries and apply in competitive scenario for tenant representatives. So more than the money, absolutely. You're also going to see development opportunities. Subject matter training, you've got access to coaching and mentoring, you have tools that keep you engaged and able to perform your work, and then the environment is probably a lot better than a lot of organizations. And when there's a healthy leadership team, you've got colleagues that care, they want to do a good job, they're committed to working together, strong corporate and customer-centered culture. So this is not about the money. The focus is on serving. We know we're going to get paid. Zig Ziglar has this famous quote that says, if you take care of enough people, you'll get what you want. Well, that is applied here too. Servant leadership model, you've got leaders that have a real heart a faith-based, centered set of ethics and standards that guide and govern the way we interact with relationships, with customers and employees and contractors and team members. A very healthy professional environment. There's advancement possibilities and also career stability. You're looking at something that is a long-term play for you personally, and it is for us too. Oh, and there's even more. Because of our expertise and our niche focus, we know that's unique. All of the virtual business model gives you flexibility to be able to work from anywhere. So imagine that. If you're not physically doing a walkthrough, you are able to work literally from anywhere and keep things going. Again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here because there's another dozen things that you're going to want to see that really make this opportunity unique. So let's jump into the final set of things here that I want to cover with you. And as you can tell, this is pretty informal. It's not designed to be a corporate approved presentation. This is me talking from what I know about the work and some notes and some additional thoughts I have to be able to help you. So we know we're looking for two types of people. One, experienced professionals that already have background and experience, a commercial real estate license. You're kind of entrepreneurial minded already. You're tenacious. You've got knowledge of the commercial real estate space. You're already in the DFW marketplace. And maybe you even have a client list or a Rolodex, contacts. I mean, if you're that type of person, man, you can just hit the ground running here with all the infrastructure and support and do something incredible. We also have a track for folks that we call new to the business professionals. These are folks that already have professional expertise. Maybe they don't have a Texas real estate license yet, but they're willing to get one. They probably have a degree, great communication skills, super great with interpersonal and follow-up skills, very professional, but just limited exposure to the commercial real estate space, but always wanting to get into it, or maybe some limited experience, but not licensed. We have a place for you. So whether you're on the fast track as an experienced professional or on the development path as a new to the business professional, we've got both tracks available. Now, you're also going to want to make sure that you've got Microsoft, got good math skills, you understand financial terms and principles, you don't fall asleep when you're reading contracts, and you're good at presenting, because we have to take some complex information and simplify it for our customers and our clients to be able to help them understand the decisions that they're making and how things impact them. And there's also some problem solving and keeping your cool under pressure. When you look at the fact that you're a negotiator, you're almost like a mediator or an arbitrator in some cases doing lease negotiations. I mean, these are very, very powerful skills to learn. And anybody that's been in this space for any amount of time successfully has moved forward with a lot of skills that are extremely valuable. So we also prefer that you've had some experience with client relationship management software. So, whatever CRM solution, you're just in the habit of logging your activities and making updates so you can refer back to them. And you're just willing to learn, coachable, being willing to be mentored, where you've got opportunities to grow, kind of person, regardless of what track you're on. So at this point, you're listening to this. If you're still listening to this, you're either really excited or you're pretty turned off because this is not what you were expecting. Well, that's good. We don't want to waste your time. But if you're in the category of, wow, this sounds really, really interesting, definitely want to know more, we want to invite you to the next step, which is there's a questionnaire we want you to complete. We've got a link to it right below, so you can go immediately to it and take your time. You don't need to hit submit until you're done with it, but it's going to ask you about your prior experience, your accomplishments, your sales background, technical questions, more about you, anything else you want to tell us. And believe it or not, we spend more time looking at your answers on that questionnaire than we do your resume, because your resume is just kind of a generic snapshot of your background. But the questionnaire has very specific questions that we want to talk to you about and engage you on. And so those are the things that are really important to us. So I would challenge you to just take your time and don't be afraid of a long answer. We read what we do is we look at the questionnaire, we evaluate that, and we determine next steps. That could be a Zoom interview or screening call where we're going to set up a time frame for you to meet. We may give you access to a calendar to set up something at your convenience. And again, we're going to probably put you into, or you can self-select maybe, into the new to the business professional track or the experienced professional track where you have the ability to hit the ground running and make the most of this opportunity. So I would just tell you at this point, regardless of what happens, just don't get discouraged. If you're in transition or you're looking for another job or you're looking for a contractor opportunity where you've got a lot of freedom and independence like this one, then we appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to engage in this process with us. And we believe everybody is a VIP when they get in the right place, in the right company. So we will give you access to some resources, even if you're not selected to move forward, to help you with your career journey. That's our way of just tangibly saying thank you and it not just being platitudes. And the last thing I want to say is we do have another opportunity, and that is we have a referral program for licensed agents. And that is, if you're in an organization already, maybe you don't come on board here, maybe it's not the right fit or something is not ideal, that's okay. We can still be partners. This is a small community. We do have this referral program where when you come across business owners that have a need for tenant representation and your organization is not servicing or supporting them, or maybe they are, we have a relationship between our brokerage firm and your brokerage firm to be able to share revenue, and that can be another source of compensation for you. So if you are interested in that, I mean, this even works for residential realtors. So if you don't even have a commercial background, this could still work. If you're interested in that, the referral program as another source of revenue for you personally, then we'll give you a chance. You might even want to just complete the questionnaire just to sign up for that, just to get that information, because that alone is valuable, even if you decide this isn't the right role for you. Okay, so that was a lot of information. Thank you so very much for taking time to listen to this. It would have been a long phone call if we had tried to do this over the phone, and it might have not been scheduled so conveniently. So we're looking forward to hearing back from you on the questionnaire, and then we will take it from there. Thank you again, and looking forward to seeing your information.